Some places never truly let us go. We leave, but the room keeps our laughter, our tears, our secrets absorbed into its walls. This room isn't haunted by ghosts, but by the quiet imprints of a life once lived. The silence here is full, humming with memories, the warmth of morning sun, the faint scent of rain. We never really leave such places. A part of us lingers, woven into the scuff marks and faded outlines. The room guards these memories, holding them as treasures long after we've forgotten. Light in this room is a storyteller. Morning brings hope, painting gold across the walls. Midday reveals every secret, yet the shadows remain gentle. Afternoon light slows time, dust motes dancing in a honeyed glow, replaying silent memories. As twilight falls, light and shadow merge, and the room holds its breath. In this transition, memories become most vivid, felt in the air, breathed in with the dusk. Night settles, and the room sighs, wrapped in the stillness of all it remembers. In every room, a fragrance lingers, soft and invisible, yet deeply woven into the walls and air. It is the silent memory of laughter, of whispered hopes, of lives once lived within these gentle boundaries. Here, the scent is a tapestry, sun-warmed wood, the earthy hush of dust, and the delicate trace of rain, each note unlocking doors to memories you thought had faded. The air is alive with hints of turning seasons, the ghost of tea shared in quiet company, and the gentle rustle of pages long turned. These scents are the room's secret language, a bridge between what was and what remains, inviting you to breathe in the past. To inhale here is to remember each breath, a gentle retrieval of moments time tried to hide. Memory isn't just ours. Some places remember for us. This room holds feelings and moments we've forgotten, preserving them in its quiet gaze. It's not a passive container, but an active participant holding joy, grief, and silence in every surface. Returning here is like finding salvation, a sanctuary that anchors who you were. The room keeps our echoes, our warmth, our hopes never judging, only holding. Even when we move on, it remembers that we mattered. The window is the room's eye, framing the world's changing canvas. Spring brings green renewal, summer pours gold and life, autumn paints nostalgia in amber and crimson. Winter arrives with quiet frost and snow, the glass cold and etched with ice. Through every season, the window holds these scenes, growth, decay, rest, each a chapter in the room's memory. The room watches, patient and still, waiting for the cycle to begin again. In every view, the window reminds us time moves on, but the room remembers. There was always a breeze. Even on the stillest days, a gentle current would find its way through the window, stirring curtains and dust, carrying laughter, whispers, and memories. The breeze was a constant visitor, unseen, but always present, a silent companion, entering through the open window, connecting the quiet room to the world beyond. From my window, the ancient oak tree was always there, unchanging, yet never the same. Light, weather, and time transformed it daily. The tree stood as a symbol of endurance, while the shifting sky and seasons revealed life's constant flow. This view was my quiet reminder: change and stability can exist together. The window was more than just a source of light. It was a portal connecting the quiet room to the world beyond. Through its glass, daily life unfolded: neighbors, mail carriers, the distant sound of trains. It offered protection from storms, and on peaceful afternoons, invited dreams and contemplation. The window was a threshold for both the senses and the soul. The glass of the window was a silent, patient witness. Over the years, it reflected faces, child, teen, adult, each leaving subtle marks and memories. Its surface, worn and imperfect, held stories of longing, hope, and connection. The window waited, a quiet, steady presence, always holding on, never truly letting go. The floor of this room is a map of what is no longer there. Its emptiness is not vacant, it is descriptive. Faint outlines and lighter patches reveal where bookshelves and rugs once lived, each mark a memory. The floor holds the shape of comfort, a circle of memory at the room's core. Subtle indentations mark where a chair once stood, a seat of quiet reflection. To others, it's just an empty room. To me, it's a map of memory. If you look closely at the floor, you see more than just the ghosts of furniture. You see the echoes of footsteps, paths worn by years of movement, moments of presence, and the rhythm of lives lived. The floor is a silent witness, holding the memory of every step, every story, and every quiet moment. This floor was once a universe of imagination, a racetrack, a battlefield, a canvas for dreams. Its smooth patches and tiny nicks are silent records of rocking horses, toy cars, and family games. Even now, it holds the echo of laughter, the silent music of play, and the joyful marks of childhood. Every scratch on this floor is a word in a sentence. Every scuff mark is a line in a poem. Together, they form a tapestry of everyday life evidence, not damage. These marks are honest, the unfiltered story of a home. They are not signs of neglect, but of a life lived fully, a record of every imperfect, wonderful moment. The floor was not just a surface for people and objects. It was also a stage for the dance of light and shadow. As the sun made its daily journey across the sky, the shadows would move across the floorboards in a slow, silent performance. In the morning, they were long and stretched, reaching from the window deep into the room like shy visitors hesitating at the door. As the day wore on, they would retreat, shrinking and sharpening, until at midday they were huddled directly beneath the objects that cast them. This daily dance was a quiet, reliable clock, marking the passage of hours in a way that was more gentle and poetic than any ticking machine. The most beautiful performance came from the old oak tree outside the window. When the wind blew, the shadows of its leaves and branches would tremble and sway across the floor. It was a mesmerizing, ever-changing pattern of light and dark, a living piece of art projected onto the wooden canvas. On a summer day, it was like being underwater with ripples of light filtering down from the surface. In autumn, the dance became more frantic, a wild swirling pattern of skeletal branches. The floor was the receptive audience for this natural theater, its surface coming alive with the movement of the world outside. The shadows also played with the textures of the floor itself. They would pool in the deeper scratches and settle into the grain of the wood, highlighting its history and character. A simple floorboard, flat and unassuming in the direct light, would become a landscape of tiny hills and valleys when a shadow fell across it. This interplay gave the floor a sense of depth, and dimension that it would not otherwise have. The shadows were artists, using their darkness to reveal the subtle beauty and complexity of the surface they fell upon. They made the old and worn seem profound and interesting. In the evening, as the light faded, the shadows would grow long again, merging and melting into one another until the entire floor was enveloped in a soft, uniform dusk. This was the final act of the daily performance, a quiet curtain call before the deep stillness of the night. The dance of shadows was a fundamental part of the room's atmosphere, a constant, silent companion to all the human activity that took place there. The floor was their partner, the faithful, unmoving surface upon which they could perform their beautiful ephemeral ballet day after day, year after year. Ultimately, the floor was the room's grounding force, its solid, unwavering foundation. Everything else could change the color of the walls, the arrangement of furniture, the people coming and going, but the floor remained. It was the constant beneath it all, the one element that connected every era of the room's history. It held the weight of everything, both literally and metaphorically. It supported the heavy bookshelf filled with knowledge, the soft bed that held dreams, and the chairs where life's most important conversations took place. It was the silent, steadfast supporter of every aspect of life within these walls, asking for nothing in return. There is something profoundly comforting about the solidity of a well-worn wooden floor. It connects you to the earth, to the very structure of the house. To stand barefoot on these boards is to feel a sense of stability and permanence that is rare in a fast-changing world. The floor has endured, it has withstood footsteps, spills, scratches, and the simple, relentless pressure of time. Its resilience is a quiet lesson in strength and endurance. It reminds you that it is possible to bear the marks of a long life and still be strong, still be beautiful, and still be able to support the weight of what is to come. This floor is the repository of the room's lowest, deepest echoes. While whispers might hang in the air and memories might cling to the walls, the floor holds the vibrations, the physical resonance of past events. It felt the thud of a joyful jump, the heavy, slow tread of grief, and the frantic tapping of an impatient foot. These energies have seeped into the wood, becoming part of its very substance. The floor does not just remember the sights and sounds, it remembers the feelings, the kinetic energy of life. It is the room's memory bank, storing the emotional weight of every moment it has witnessed. And so, the echoes on this floor are the room's deepest and most enduring memories. They are the foundation of its story, the literal ground upon which everything else was built. To understand this room, you must first understand its floor. You must learn to read its map of absences, to trace its paths of footprints, and to appreciate its tapestry of imperfections. It is here, in the humble, steadfast floorboards, that the true spirit of the room resides. It is the part of the room that holds you, that connects you to its past, and that will continue to hold these echoes long after we are all gone. In every sanctuary, there is a special place. For me, it was the old wooden bench in the quietest corner of the room, simple, humble, and polished by time. It was a silent friend offering steadiness and peace. Though the bench is gone, its memory remains woven into the very fabric of that corner. The ritual of tea transformed the bench into a sanctuary. The gentle whistle of the kettle, the warmth of a heavy mug, and the fragrant steam created a moment of peace. Each sip was a pause, a way to reset and recenter. In that quiet corner, stillness and comfort were always within reach. Beside the cup of tea, there was almost always a book. The bench was my favorite place to read, a quiet corner where stories and sunlight mingled. The gentle weight of a book, the soft rustle of turning pages, and the scent of tea made it feel like a friend was always near. The company of a book was the company of 1,000 worlds. Sometimes I'd sit on the bench with no purpose but to be silent. The quiet wasn't empty, it was a presence, a gentle conversation with the room. In that stillness, memories surfaced, thoughts softened, and I felt connected to something deeper. It was a silence we shared, the room and I. We leave more than just physical marks on the places we inhabit. The bench in the corner holds the deepest imprint of my stillness, a piece absorbed into the wood and air. Even now, that corner feels like a sanctuary, radiating calm. My quiet remains there, a gentle presence for anyone who enters, and a sanctuary I carry within. Leaving a place like this is a quiet, complicated heartbreak. There's no dramatic ending, just a slow fading. The room keeps its own memories, sending me messages long after I've gone. In a new city, a sudden peace, a familiar light, a scent reminders that the room still holds me across time and distance. The room is not just a memory, it's a constant companion I carry within me. Its light, silence, and patience have become my anchor, a portable sanctuary in the chaos of life. Wherever I go, I carry its peace, its lessons, and its presence always guiding me step by step through my journey. For so long, I believed a room was merely a container, a set of physical boundaries defined by 4 walls, a floor, and a ceiling. I saw it as a passive stage upon which the drama of life unfolded. But this room taught me the truth. A space that has been loved and lived in becomes something more. It becomes a living entity, an active participant in our story. It breathes with us, it holds our emotions, and it remembers on our behalf. Its walls are not barriers, they are membranes, absorbing the energy of every moment, every whisper, every tear, every laugh that ever happened within its embrace. This room is a library of feelings. The joy of a celebration did not just echo and fade, it settled into the plaster, leaving a residue of warmth that can still be felt. The quiet sorrow of a goodbye was not just cried and forgotten, it was absorbed by the floorboards, adding a note of profound depth to the room's silent song. These emotions are the true furniture of the room now. They are the invisible objects that fill the space, giving it weight and character. It is a place that is saturated with the full spectrum of a human life, and that is what makes it so much more than just an empty space. I now understand that we are in a constant dynamic relationship with the places we call home. We pour ourselves into them, and they in turn pour themselves into us. The light that I watched every day through that window is now the light I look for everywhere. The peace I found on that corner bench is now the peace I strive to create in my own heart. The room was not just a backdrop for my life, it was a collaborator. It helped shape my perceptions, soothe my anxieties, and nurture my capacity for stillness. It was a partner in the quiet, sacred work of becoming myself. Therefore, to say it is just a room is to miss the entire point. It is a vessel of time, a guardian of moments, and a silent witness to the evolution of a soul. It is proof that a place can have a spirit, not one of a ghost, but one that is woven from the threads of the lives lived within it. It is a sacred space, not because of any formal consecration, but because of the simple, holy act of a life being lived there day in and day out. It is more than four walls. It is a heart that continues to beat with the rhythm of the memories it holds. There is a unique and gentle comfort in knowing that a part of me has always remained in that room. Even if I were to return someday, feeling like a stranger in a place I once knew, the room would still recognize me. It would see not just the person standing in the doorway, but every version of me it has ever known. How do you say goodbye to a place that has become a part of you? The truth is, you do not. The last time I walked out of that room, I did not see it as a final farewell. It felt more like a see you later, a quiet understanding that our connection would persist. Just in a different form. It was not an ending, but a transition. I was leaving the physical space, but I was taking the essence of the room with me, and I was leaving a part of my own essence behind, a permanent offering of gratitude for all the shelter and peace it had given me. This changes the nature of memory from something tinged with the sadness of loss to something infused with the warmth of an ongoing presence. The room is not a lost relic of my past that I mourn. It is an active, benevolent force in my present. Thinking of it does not bring a pang of nostalgia for what is gone, but a gentle sense of gratitude for what continues to be. The farewell was not a severing of ties, but a release. I released the room to its future, and it released me to mine, both of us forever changed and enriched by the time we shared. Perhaps this is the nature of all true homes. They are not places we possess, but places we pass through. And in that passing, a beautiful exchange takes place. We give them our stories, our laughter, our tears, and they give us a sense of belonging, a foundation of peace that we can build upon for the rest of our lives. The farewell is simply the moment when that exchange is complete. The transaction is finished, and we are both left richer than we were before. The door closes, but the relationship continues, vibrating on a quieter, more spiritual frequency. So no, it was not a final goodbye. It was an acknowledgement that our chapter together had closed, but the book remained open. The room will go on to hold other stories, other lives, and I will go on to live mine. But the imprint we left on each other is indelible. It is a quiet, unbreakable bond that defies distance and the passage of time. The room never forgot me, and I will never forget it, because we are still in each other's lives, just in a way that no one else can see or understand. It is a secret conversation that will continue for a lifetime. In the end, the room that never forgot me is not just a place made of wood and plaster, located on a specific street in a specific town. It has become a state of mind, an inner landscape that I can visit at will. It is the quiet center within myself, the place I retreat to when the world becomes overwhelming. The physical room was the training ground, the crucible where this inner sanctuary was forged. It taught me what peace felt like, what stillness sounded like, and what a compassionate silence could hold. Now, I am the one who carries that space. The four walls are the boundaries of my own heart. This is the ultimate lesson the room taught me, that the sanctuaries we seek in the external world are ultimately reflections of a sanctuary that we must build within ourselves. The room was the catalyst, the perfect teacher, but its final assignment was for me to learn how to create that feeling for myself, by myself, wherever I go. It gave me the blueprint, the sensory memories, the emotional resonance. It packed all of its peace, all of its light, and all of its quiet wisdom into a suitcase for my soul, a gift for the rest of my journey. I carry its window with me, a way of looking at the world that finds beauty in the changing seasons of life. I carry its floor with me, a foundation of resilience that accepts the scratches and scuffs as part of a life fully lived. I carry its corner bench with me, a commitment to making time for quiet reflection, for tea, for a book, for the simple act of being. The room is no longer just a memory of a place I once lived. It is a philosophy for how I choose to live now, a constant, gentle guide in my pocket. The room never forgot me because, in the most profound way, I never left, and it never left me. We are intertwined, a story of a place and a person that became one. It held my moments until I was ready to hold them myself. It kept a part of me safe until I learned to be a sanctuary for myself. And for that, I am eternally grateful. The whispers in its corners have become the whispers of my own intuition. The echoes in its silence have become the foundation of my own peace. The room remembers me, and I carry it with me, a constant, loving presence forever.